Hello again, I am Blunty, and this is Exoprimal. Pop a comment down below. I want to know if you've seen marketing for this yet, because I feel like Capcom haven't been pushing it super hard. Did you know about this yet? When did you know about it? Did you play the beta? Did you even know there was a beta that happened last month? And if you did play the beta, what impression did the beta leave with you? Because it left me with mixed feelings that have just changed. The game is going to launch in July, but it just made a big announcement that, like I just alluded to, and may you excuse the traditional YouTube melodramatic tone, has just changed everything! This one thing has changed everything! And that's not entirely melodramatic, because it has changed everything in my attitude towards the game. So, specifically what you're seeing is the Exoprimal public beta test that ran a few weeks back, and I totally forgot that I was messing around with my stupid little VTuber avatar that week, so sorry about that unusual distraction in the corner of this gameplay footage, which was recorded when I was live streaming. Hey, is this better? Shall I put the VU meter thing over the face of the VTuber? Is that better, or is that even more distracting? We'll have to deal. Now then, like I said, I live streamed it, that's where this footage is from, and I was intending, I usually live stream Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and I was intending to dig into Exoprimal for at least 2 of those 3 stream days. I thought there was enough meat there to really sink my teeth into, but I kind of bounced off it pretty quickly. Because while I did really, and I mean really enjoy the gameplay, mechanically, it was tremendous fun, and I was giggling and having a blast. There was one aspect that I really didn't enjoy, an element so intrusive and so off-putting and so far away from the part of the game that I actually found fun, that it was enough for me to decide, within the mere 4 hours of the weekend-long beta, that this game just wasn't going to be for me. And I wasn't alone. A lot of players had the exact same complaint about it that I did. And hey, guess what? Capcom listened. Because they do that sometimes. At least from the perspective of a Monster Hunter player, they listen. I don't know about their other games. Hey, Resident Evil fans, do you feel like they listen to you guys? But they made a statement, and the way they worded it, it's hard to know whether they've changed their focus slightly because of the feedback, or they just feel like they weren't communicating clearly enough what the intent of the thing was in the first place, and they let the beta kind of misrepresent the game a little bit. Anyway, before we get to that, let's bounce over the top of the gameplay here. As you might be seeing, Exoprimal is kind of like, what if someone at Capcom said, hey, what if we made a game where you're kind of like zerping around in Iron Man suits, but the suits are like Overwatch hero characters? No, not like Anthem. Don't bring up Anthem. Let's forget about Anthem. Big horrible failure Anthem, disappointment Anthem. Hey, think about Dinosaurs instead, because that's right. Forget about fighting ordinary enemies and bipedal enemies, or even little dogs and stuff that you might expect to fire laser guns at from Iron Man suits in other games. No, you get to shoot dinosaurs in our game, and not just ordinary dinosaurs, but mutant dinosaurs. Mutant interdimensional dinosaurs. Time-traveling mutant interdimensional dinosaurs that are brought to your face by a semi-evil AI. And not just a few of them either, literal swarms of them. It's crazy, they're pouring down buildings like a waterfall of dinosaurs that you get to shoot in your Iron Man suits. How does that sound? Does that sound fun? Because I thought that sounded fun, and it is super duper fun. The core concept of the game is just as batshit silly. You, a human soldier kind of person, is tasked with kind of field testing these new mech super suit thingies, which a clearly not very secretly evil AI is asking you to test out for them. And in order to do that, they put you against interdimensionally teleported dinosaurs in order to measure the combat performance of said hardware. That's right, the AI is bringing those dinosaurs to you in order for you to fight them so it can test the performance of these suits. You're not defending the city from an invading army. The AI is just bringing these things to you in order to kill them so you can test the suits. That's the core concept here. And while you're doing that, you're competing against another team of people testing the exact same suits. 2 teams of 5 players compete to be the best at interdimensional mutant dinosaur slaying, and then, at the end of every match, all the dinos get removed and it devolves into PvP. You attack the other team to see which team is the best at fighting other people in mech suits, not just dinosaurs. And that was the issue that I and many, many other players had. There was a lot of complaining about this, let me tell you. The PvE stuff in Exoprimal was great fun, and I mean great fun. I was literally cackling with joy at many moments during the gameplay. Team-based PvE against non-stop swarms of dinosaurs, and you can even hot swap in and out of different armors in the middle of a match. Even in the middle of combat you can do it. So if your team suddenly finds yourself in a position where, maybe you could use another tank, or, you need more healing, or a healer at all, or a sniper would be more useful for the position you're in or something. You can just have team members change in and out of the different roles on the fly. It was dynamic, it was exciting, it was high-paced, and it was terrific fun. But as soon as you did the fun part, at the end of the match it devolved into very uninspired PvP combat, and a tremendous amount of feedback was given to Capcom about how much more fun and inviting the game would be if it was just way more PvE focused. So here comes Capcom in a statement. Thank you to everyone who participated in the Exoprimal open beta test. Our team has gained a great deal of data from Exofighter survey responses and social media. We'll put this feedback to good use and make Exoprimal the best it can be. While the open beta allowed players to experience some of the missions available to the Dino Survival mode, Exoprimal's full release will feature the following content for players to enjoy. Missions without direct combat between players, where victory is determined by clearing the PvE objectives as fast as possible. Hooray! Bam! There it is, right at the top of the list. The very most important bit of feedback they received, and the very first thing they want to tell you about in response to the beta is, yes, they will be doing more and more PvE objectives, where it's just about the skill of completing the actual core content of the game and not about the PvP crap. But here's the question I have. It seems still a bit vague. If you are like me and do vastly enjoy PvE more than PvP, does this mean PvP game modes are entirely optional? Can I just avoid them altogether? Or will I be forced to do them to either progress properly, either through the story or as part of that season pass crap or something, or to unlock certain items or perks or whatever, because they have to put in some bait to get people to play PvP. Otherwise, the PvP population is not going to be strong enough to carry it as strongly as the PvE content. So matchmaking might become a bit more difficult. Anyway, hoping to hear more about that, but it's still good to hear, anyway, that, they did hear that feedback, and it is at the top of the list to let people know. Then there's some stuff about story and campaign modes, which usually, it sounds good. I like story and campaign modes, but in this game, frankly, who cares? Just let me be a Hulkbuster Iron Man and slap waves of dinosaurs around with my shield. Just boop! Boop them on the snoot with my shield. It's crazy fun. They go flying. But also they've confirmed 10-player co-op missions with a variety of objectives and even fiercer dinosaurs. So that sounds like manic epic fun. 10 players all at once in PvE co-op against even more mental amounts of dinosaurs and harder dinosaurs. I don't know about you, but to me it sounds quite a lot like an MMO raid boss fight. Then, of course, they go on to confirm more maps and variety and blah, blah, blah. 5-player missions that rotate weekly with global leaderboards for the fastest completion time, so that should keep the player base a little more active for the competitive types. Equipment called modules allow for deeper customization of exosuit capabilities. Oh, and, of course, exosuit skins and weapon skins, decals, emotes, and other cosmetic options, which I fully expect to be microtransaction fodder, because it is a live service game. It's gonna have those. And lastly, in-game medals and awards for completing certain challenges, like blocking a certain amount of damage as a tank suit. So that's just achievements, trophies, or whatever you want to call them, which, name a relatively modern multiplayer game that doesn't have those. I don't know why they felt the need to announce that. Of course it's going to achieve those. They went on to confirm that they also plan on supporting Exoprimal with title updates after its release, because, duh, it's a live service game. We could have made that assumption. And the addition of more exosuit variants that use different equipment for different playstyles, because, duh, once again, it's a hero shooter live service game, so of course there will be more characters, or in this case exosuits, to play as. It's a pretty good way to keep the game feeling fresh and to get some lapsed players to dive back in, at least for a little while, to check out the new suits and whatnot. And again, because it's a live service game, they promise updates with each season that add more game content, and that word season probably means we're getting season pass kind of crap as well. And lastly, they announce coming collaborations with other Capcom titles, which I am hoping means I can tool around on some classic Monster Hunter armor skins. But probably it mostly means instead of dinosaurs, we're going to be facing boss versions of like the Giganti or Devil Joe and the like from the Monster Hunter series, because they would fit right into this game, wouldn't they? Or possibly one of the armor suits is going to be a great big Mega Man suit. That'd be fun too, wouldn't it? What other Capcom tie-ins do you think that would fit in this? Leave your comments in there down below. In any case, the confirmation that they're not just hyper-focused or on enforced PvP, and that there's even more different kinds of co-op style content coming, and they've heard us on this, including stuff with more than just the standard team sizes and stuff, that has put this game back on the map for me, because after the beta, I was content to just let it slide by. It was fun, but it gave the impression that the core game mode, the core point of it, with the PvP being such a big part of every single match. And we already knew that there were going to be PvE only stuff, that wasn't a secret, but the beta kind of gave the impression that the PvP stuff was a little more important to them, and it seems like that might not necessarily be the case, or at least they've heard players, and going forward, as we go forward to launch, they're going to focus a little bit more heavier on the PvE stuff, because that's obviously where the player-based interest lies most fiercely. So yeah, I'm back on board. It's back on my wish list and back on my radar to watch out for further updates as we head towards that launch on July 14th, 2023. Let me know what you're thinking about it in the down below. Meanwhile, thank you very much for watching. I am Blunty, and we'll catch you next time. Thank you as always, of course, to the patrons scrolling up above there.